Today I'm reviewing the BEASTCOM Q5 Pro Gaming PC. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've been using this system over the past couple of weeks on my desk, installing games, running modern titles at various settings, multitasking with background apps, and doing everyday Windows work. These impressions come from real use, not just looking at specs. Let's set expectations right away. This is not a high-end, 4K-focused gaming rig. It's not built to chase ultra settings on the latest AAA titles. That's simply outside the capability of the combination of hardware it has. What it is an entry to mid-range gaming PC setup that tries to balance performance, price, and practicality. Performance in real use at its core. The Ryzen 5 4500 with 6 cores and 12 threads handles general computing and lighter gaming smoothly. For everyday work, browsing, streaming, light content creation, it feels responsive. With the NVIDIA RTX 3056GB graphics card, 1080p gaming is where this system sits most comfortably. In many esports and competitive titles like Fortnite, Valorant, and CSGO, 1080p performance is solid at high settings with stable frame rates. It feels consistent, there aren't big dips or stutters when the action picks up. That steadiness matters more than peak frames on paper. For more demanding AAA games like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077, or Horizon Zero Dawn, you'll need to tune settings toward medium or lower to hit smooth frame rates. On higher settings at 1080p, performance becomes choppy, not surprising given the GPU tier. This aligns with what most RTX 3050 machines deliver in practice. Thermals, noise, and build. This isn't a loud system. Under extended gaming, fans ramp up predictably but stay within a moderate noise level. It doesn't jump into distracting territory, and component temperatures remain in reasonable ranges for this class. The case and build feel functional more than premium. There aren't fancy lighting or flagship-grade materials here. That's not a knock so much as a ground truth about what you're paying for, competent internals rather than premium flair. Wi-Fi 5 works fine for wireless connectivity. It's not the fastest modern wireless standard, but for most gaming and streaming use cases, it holds steady. Memory and storage practicality. The 16GB of RAM helps keep multitasking smooth. Running games alongside Discord, browsers, and background utilities doesn't bog the system down in everyday use. The 1TB NVMe SSD gives plenty of space for games, apps, and media. Load times are quick, and the system feels generally snappy. If you build a massive library of large AAA titles, you might bump into capacity limits eventually, but the included storage is practical out of the box. Positioning and trade-offs. Here's where context matters. Compared to a budget gaming laptop with similar specs, this desktop tends to have better cooling and slightly more consistent thermals due to the airflow advantage of a tower case. Compared to higher-end desktops with RTX 3060 or above, raw performance obviously trails. The RTX 3050 sits below those GPUs in practical gaming throughput, so if ultra or high refresh 1440p gaming is your priority, those higher tiers will serve you better. In sheer dollars per frame metrics, a self-built or bare-bones plus discrete GPU route might stretch your budget further if you're comfortable building. But for someone who wants a ready-to-go, pre-built system without the hassle of parts-level assembly, this desktop simplifies that friction. This makes sense for this configuration fits buyers who want solid 1080p gaming without tuning every setting aggressively, value plug-and-play convenience over building their own PC, plan to mix gaming with work and everyday tasks, prefer a desktop you can upgrade later without a big initial overhaul. It may not be ideal if you want consistently high FPS at 1440p, want a top-tier GPU experience, or crave premium build aesthetics. Closing thoughts. Used as a daily driver for 1080p gaming and general computing, the BEASTCOM Q5 Pro behaves predictably and capably within its class. It doesn't overpromise, and it doesn't invent performance outside what the hardware realistically delivers. That grounded behavior is useful if you value measured results over flashy marketing. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.